Hello, welcome to the Self-Help Empowerment Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Lance William Green. I am the CEO of LWG Corporations. I'm also a published author. I have many books. They're all available at lulu.com/bookstore/Lance William Green. They're also available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and many other online retail bookstores. If you're going to buy, please buy from lulu.com/bookstore/Lance William Green. It's better for me, and you get a quality book, and, it supports me more. I'm able to make more podcasts. I'm able to write more books. I'm able to do more things with the money that I get from Lulu. You can always contact me at lwg.corporationsgmail.com. So today on the Self-Help Empowerment Lifestyle Podcast, I'm going to just talk to you a little bit here. I did start I made some techno songs, a couple of them, beats and things, and I put them together. That was in my last podcast there. So, I don't know, lately I've been hanging out, and I'm still doing my jogging. That's one thing I've been keeping up with. And, I started doing the jogging. I started to do 6 days a week. I don't really, that's kind of how I am, is I get really focused on things, and I don't like to take a break. I like to keep going and going and going. And sometimes when I stop for a couple days or so, especially with the working out, then I'm like, oh man, it's more difficult to get back into it. But if I stick with it and I do it every day, it's like I start wanting. I'm craving. I'm like, I'm sitting here. I'm feeling like how good it would be to go out and go for a jog, kind of feeling. So it's pretty cool. And you know what? A lot of my friends are even saying stuff to me now because they see me out jogging, and they're like, you know what? If you can do 5 miles every morning like that, I need to start doing that. So that's pretty cool too. I mean, I like that when people start feeling inspired by seeing me do what I'm doing, because, sometimes I talk about doing things and then people are like, oh, okay, cool. But then when they realize I'm not just talking, I'm actually doing, and then they're seeing it with their own eyes, then they're like, oh, okay, well, I better start doing that. And I like that because, I like to empower other people by being an example. I don't just write about things, I'm about what I write about. So, I guess I live it. I represent it, that's the way I want to live. I don't want to just say things in my books and write about things and not apply them to my own life. So I do that. A lot of things, some of the things that I write about and some of the techniques and things that I do are pretty difficult sometimes to start doing in your life. Everything is easy, and when it's hard, that you're actually doing something. That's the thing is, if it's easy, everyone would be doing it. And that's why they come up with that saying, there's no pain, no gain. But I like to, I don't know, even my running, I like to break into steps. When I'm thinking about doing 20 laps, I'll go, okay, well, I'm going to do 5. And then when I get to 5, I start over. I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to do this other 5. And then I go 5, 5. And then it's over with. It's, I don't know, I motivate myself by doing that, by breaking it into a smaller step, because when you're counting to 20 and you're doing them, it seems like a long ways. But when you're going to 5 and you're on lap 2 and excuse me, lap 3 comes around, then you're like 5, and then pretty soon it turns into 8, and then you got 10. And anyway, you get the picture. Sometimes the jogging is harder. I mean, I really have to put in the work to get 5 miles in there. I really need to get my health back together, because I did take quite a long time there before I started running again there. And even though I'm not really running, I'm doing a jog. I don't know. I'm like double or triple the speed of walking. I don't know what it is. I might be doing a 7 mile an hour jog, something like that. because it takes me around 45, sometimes 50 minutes, depending on, if I have to stop and tie my shoe, because sometimes that happens, or I get a rock in my shoe, that happens too. That happens. So, I do that, and then I come in, I shower, I do a little bit of reading and things, because, I like to read my books, my own books. Sometimes I remember or I see something else and that I've wrote, and I actually relearn to start applying that thing to my life. So I do that. And, also I have some friends. I showed a couple guys my new Crazy Cat Facts and Funny Cat Joke book. And it's funny because now all these people are coming over and they're telling me cat jokes. And, I love that because not only, I like it when other people, get into it too, but I really love cats a lot. So that's one of the things I love to share. And you know what? A lot of people love cats. And then, I don't know, I like it when people come and they share their jokes with me. I was thinking of maybe including a friend of mine. He was telling me some really good cat jokes. So I was thinking of actually asking him if he wanted to do a second book with me. Another Crazy Cat Facts and Funny Cat Jokes Part 2. So I may be doing that. I'm still slowly working on my mind, body, and business book. The exercise and business and, dealing with your problems and meditating and breathing and things like that type of book. So I'll be doing that. Also where I am, and it actually has been hot, but it's been really super nice and sunny out. So, I've been going outside and I do my jog, I come in and shower, and then I go and I lay out in the sun. And sometimes I even go play pickleball and things. So I like to do that. And I've been going out and laying out in the sun quite a bit. But the other day I went and I got some pictures took of me, and I had all my books, and there's going to be a car show soon, and some other things that I'm going to be going to. So that's going to be, I think August 8th, I'll be doing that, and so I don't know, I've been just kind of taking it easy a little bit, and enjoying my time outside in the sun, because it's been really nice. I would like to be out swimming and doing some other things, but I went out and I talked to a friend of mine. We were talking about doing some e-trading and some business things, and I was telling me that I should probably research, because I guess there's some kind of sites and things that you can go back and look at all the stocks and how they've performed in the last 20 years or so. And then you can look at some of the newer stocks in the last year or two. I was talking about SpaceX and Starlink and Bitcoin and a couple other things, because I do really like SpaceX, because, I'm into space and satellites and rockets and jets and all kinds of things like that, but mainly a lot of electronics, which, the satellites and the SpaceX is. Plus, I'm an Elon Musk fan, but I also like the Starlink too. I think that's really cool. I remember Iridium used to have, well, they probably still do, cell phones that were satellite phones, and you could use them anywhere in the world, no matter where you were, as long as you were outside, but they were like $5 a minute. So that's kind of a crazy thing, and then no internet on them. I don't know about now, and plus you'd still have one of those phones that were like from the 70s where they're like a brick. And a giant antenna on them. But I guess Starlink is different, and they should probably be having some of the Starlink phones. I haven't even checked that out, but that could be another market. But I tell you what, I've been watching the news lately too. I don't know, for some reason I don't really want to be podcasting about the news and the war in Iran and Ukraine and Russia and all that really, but I'm a huge fan of Trump. I'm a full-on supporter. You probably couldn't find anybody else. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people like me that just absolutely love Trump and everything he's doing. Sure, he does some things that I don't really think are the best. That he could have done something else, But anyway, I don't really want to get, into talking about things that I'm seeing on TV. Although, I will say, with Trump, one of the things that I really, really love about him, I know he's doing these tariffs, and I know he's trying to bring manufacturing back here to America. And I am totally 100% behind that. I know a lot of people don't like these tariffs, and I know a lot of people don't like these gas prices and all that. But, you got to think about when Biden and Obama were our presidents. What were the gas prices like then, especially out in California? And look what the Governor Newsom is doing to California. Not only is he jacking up everything and prices and all this global warming stuff and climate change stuff and everything else that they got going on, these new green deals and trying to drive out all the oil companies and all that kind of stuff. Think about all that for a second if you live in California. So, I don't know. I like how Trump is trying to stop Iran from ever having a nuclear bomb, because I don't think people realize they would use it, and they would use it on America. They would use it on their neighbors. They would. That's just how they are. If they had that, they would have already used it. So, think about it. Why are they shooting missiles at other countries that have nothing to do with what we're doing? Okay, they want to hit bases, but they're blowing up all kinds of things. So anyway, one of the things I wanted to talk about, not that stuff, was the manufacturing and things, and how Trump is trying to bring that back here. I believe if you're going to buy a car or a computer or anything, it should be built here in America. Now, that doesn't mean you can't buy a Sony, you can't buy a Toyota, you can't buy a Honda, you can't buy any other products that are made in Korea, Samsung, whatever. But those places could have factories here using American materials in American factories, employing Americans. It doesn't have to be over there in Korea or China or wherever. It can be here. Those cars, those electronics, those things can be built here by Americans, and then they can be bought by Americans. And that's what needs to happen. Now, I want to do some stuff with machine shops. I actually had almost done a machine shop with a friend of mine, making boat propellers and motorcycle rims, and I was going to do some turbos and some other things with that 5-axis CNC machine. I was going to get that. He was making some stuff like wiffle ball bats and razor handles for Gillette with an injection mold machine. But there's a couple other things I want to do. But I also want to start making parts for drones, and also some car parts and things. But I also do want to go into the manufacturing of cell phone chips and computer chips and other integrated circuits and things like that. That is really my far-reaching goal that I have for myself, is to own a semiconductor manufacturing company. That's where I'm going to take LWG corporations, but also I'm going to have some subsidiaries that are going to offer the machine shops and things. I have bigger dreams or visions of going even beyond that. I would love to follow in Elon Musk's footsteps, with everything he's doing, with his boring companies, with his Tesla companies, with his Starlink, with his, all that stuff. I'm very impressed by what he's doing. I would love to work with him someday. Maybe that will happen. But I want to get into the same type of things. But those are my far off goals there. So I was thinking that, but that's one of the things I want to take advantage of, and that's why I follow Trump, and I feel like talking about him, even on the podcast, is not such a bad thing, because this is self-help empowerment lifestyle, but it's also self-help business empowerment lifestyle. You have to live it. It all goes together. Success is a lifestyle, and following the policies of Donald Trump and his Make America Great Again policies are the start. There's a lot of opportunity going on right now that everyone can take advantage of. I know bringing manufacturing back here can happen, and that's why I'm saying there's a lot of opportunity. So following him and his policies there is definitely something I want to keep talking about. I want to start expanding a lot more in the podcast too. I'm very limited on what I can do. Right now I can only do the voice and put the video of my books. I'm not able to go out and travel around and do all of that. But I am going to interview some more people, and I am going to be putting some more music on here. I got some other things coming up soon. I'm going to be posting on here. Really, I just want to make sure that I keep checking in here and letting people know what's going on. My friend will probably be on here again. I know they were doing something else with those ground penetrating radar. I think it was SARS or something they called it, where they were using the radar penetrating the ground and seeing underneath the pyramids. I guess there's some new stuff going on about that. So maybe he'll want to talk to me about that. And, about the chemtrails and all the other things going on. Maybe some of the people I run into will want to talk to that. I do have some plans of putting other music on here. I am going to make some more techno, and I'll be putting some other things on here soon. A lot of things are going pretty good for me. I have all my books going. Finally starting to make a little bit of money. I'm starting to get a little bit noticed here, so things are good. We'll see what happens in the future here. I did go out earlier and look around to see if a couple of my friends were around, see if they would play me some more music. But, I think they're all in college right now. They're all studying, so, I'm the only one that's out and doing things. They're all in school right now, so I have to wait and see if I can catch up to them. So I don't have any music to put on here right now. Man, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this one up. Probably clean my little fish tank, feed my little fish, and I don't know, I'm going to kick back and I think listen to some music, and then I think I'm probably going to read some of my self-help empowerment lifestyle book a little bit. I'm going to talk to a couple of my buddies, and I might actually see what they say about doing another book with me for cat facts and funny cat jokes. Maybe that would be a cool thing on part 2. And then I think I'm going to write a little bit in my other book. I haven't done that in the last few days. I just, I don't know. I've been a little lazy lately. But I wanted to make sure that I got this podcast out. Alright, so, you know what? I'm going to end this one, and I'm going to start a new one. So, please remember, you can always contact me at lwg.corporations@gmail.com. And all of my books are available at lulu.com/bookstore/Lance William Green. And please remember, like and subscribe and share my videos and podcasts. Please tell your friends. I'm trying to offer a lot of opportunity to other people. I'm trying to make a lot of things happen. I'm trying to help some animals. I'm trying to help some people. I'm trying to help myself and my family. There's many things that I'm trying to accomplish with my book writing and my courses and my videos and my podcasts. I'm trying to make the best of everything I can. I'm trying to take advantage of all the opportunities I can. Like I said, I'm very limited on what is available to me. I'm really, you'd be amazed at the things that I'm doing. I'm going pretty hard at everything I do. I become super focused on everything. So, all right, please like and subscribe, and check often. I'm gonna try to post as many as I can. All right, thank you.